The way the weekend started, I felt like Chevy Chase with the Griswolds on vacation. It was absolutely crazy, and then the guys handled all of the distractions well. Then we get to the stadium, and they've just got a tremendous atmosphere for Central Florida, and it was a great day for them to open their stadium. We learned that we don't need to be opening anybody's stadium again on the road because there's a lot of excitement around it, and proud of the guys that they came from behind to win. You look at the rain delay, you look at the lightning. It was so hot down there. It's so much more humid in Orlando than it is here. And with the rain, we didn't get cramps. I thought the guys were prepared for it, but it's hard to go south and win in that heat sometimes. And I'm just proud of the guys. The things that we obviously did well, and I wasn't even aware of this. Jamal had some great runs. He is leading the Big 12 in rushing. He's 9th in the country. He's the only back in our 10 years other than Cedric Benson to have 100 yards each of the first 3 ball games. Ricky Williams didn't get that accomplished. He had the 2 fumbles, which were obvious. He was running aggressively when he had the fumbles. The ball wasn't sloppy. We just need to do a better job hanging on because he's got a really aggressive running style, and he twists and he turns, and we've got to do a better job hanging on to it. But he made some great runs during the ball game. Colt completed a record 32 completions for the ball game, best we've ever had. Ryan Bailey kicked record-tying 5 field goals. We'd rather not kick them all, but since he kicked them, we're glad he made them, and got 17 points, which is tied for a record. Brandon Foster, back-to-back defensive touchdowns for the first time since 2000 with Greg Brown, and Brandon's the Big 12 defensive player of the week this week. He was the Big 12 special teams player last week. It's the first time since 2000 we've had a young guy get Big 12 honors back-to-back. We had 10 3-and-outs with our defense. We ended up giving up 8 explosives, which is still too many. We made 8. We ended up losing 3 turnovers. We had 3 takeaways, so we ended up even there, and we won all 3 phases of the kicking game. The obvious 2 things that we didn't do well, we gave up 192 yards rushing, which was too much, and we didn't score touchdowns when we were in the red zone, which is something that we've been doing. So we're going back and looking at all of our rushing yards that were rushing plays that were less than 3 yards and see why. We're going back and studying all the things we've done in the red zone in the past and why we haven't scored as easily. But really proud of the guys. It's hard to go behind on the road in an environment like that and come back and win in that heat in the fourth quarter like they did. So got a lot of work to do, got a lot of things to improve. All 3 games have been tough games. All 3 opponents have probably been better than anticipated coming into the year, and we still have a lot we need to improve. Questions?
Coach, go ahead. Coach, when you add everything up, as far as you talk about run defense, how do you evaluate how much of that is Kevin Smith and how much of that is your defense? How do you go about doing that?
We really contained him well the first half. So I do think he's a great back. I think he's an NFL player because the runs he made were great cuts. He'd start one side, we'd over-pursue, and he'd cut all the way back. But holding him to 36 yards the first half and then looking up and you get your rushing yards in the third and fourth quarter, and we missed entirely too many tackles. So you give him credit for the running, and we had shoddy tackling in that fourth quarter. It was funny. We didn't start the game good on defense. We didn't start the second half good on defense, and we didn't do a good job on the last drive on defense like we didn't do a good job on the last drive against Arkansas State. Other than that, we played great defense. They come up with a 3rd and 18. So we've just got to be more consistent with our defense. But I do think he's really a good back, and he'll be an NFL guy if he stays healthy and keeps doing the things he's doing.
Coach, could you talk about David Bennett? I know you're friends, and he's having a tough time right now with a slow start.
Well, you transitions are really difficult. Either you get hot and you win easy, or it's tough and you have to change some things. They lost a lot of seniors, but they're a much better football team after Saturday than they were after Nicholls State. And David's a really good friend of mine. I got to know him so well at Texas State. I think he is a great football coach and a better person. And we all know they'll be ready to play. This will be national championship on Saturday. So Spike said that if you can't watch a team on film, if they're struggling, play Texas and you'll pick it up. So we know they'll play their best this weekend.
Coach, will the Horns be at full strength with the return of Henry, Sergio, and Billy?
It'll be a lot better to get all three of those young men back. They all had severe penalties for what they did, and they've handled it really well. They've practiced well, and I know they're excited about coming back, and we need it. We just had an unbelievable amount of injuries early in the season here, but hopefully what we can do is continue to fight and compete and win, even though the wins have been hard to come by. And at some point when we get everybody back, we will have more depth than ever.
Coach, if the Longhorns would be able to get ahead substantially against Rogers,
Next question.
Would we see Sherrod
Next
Harris
question.
and John
Ed's
Child?
the one that said last week he started to call Central Florida a minor team, and thank goodness I didn't answer that question, because he would have been the one saying you got beat by a minor team today.
Well, I
And
meant that
Central
the way
Florida is not a minor team.
not
We
mentioning them.
always talk about the other team playing the best of their ability, and we would do the same on Saturday. We would like to play more people on offense and gain more depth.
Can I ask this question about quarterbacks? If Texas were to get ahead, would we see Sherrod or John as Colts backup?
Next question. We do want to play John Childs in a ball game. We tried again Saturday, and we were going to put him in right at the end, and we felt like, again, it was late and 3 plays left, and we're not sure about Sherrod's status yet. But John Childs, we're trying to get in the ball game.
Thank you.
They've been too close.
You played 3 tough games. I guess everybody probably assumed that TCU was going to be tough. Has your team been able to grow, regardless of the complaints, regardless of things you haven't been able to do? Is the team growing from a maturation standpoint?
Yes, it's good when you struggle and win. We haven't had anything happen easy for us. We've had a lot of things that have been really tough to overcome, and the guys have overcome every one of them. The things that we're not doing well are very obvious, and we need to continue to work to fix. The things that we are doing well have been overshadowed in some cases because the scores have been closer than we would have anticipated or other people with our early season schedule. But the guys are really trying, and that's all you can do. We got to continue to get better. We got to fix the things that are broken, and we have to make sure that they understand all the things that are good, because the standard here is pretty high, and winning is not enough to some. It is to us. The only stat we're concerned about is winning, and then the things that we're not doing well we try to fix. And we're proud to be 3-0.
Coach, you talked about Brandon with the 2 straight Big 12 awards. Talk about the DB and Brandon. What do you think has happened these last couple of weeks? They seem to be improving every week.
Yes, we held Central Florida to 110 yards first half and did a real good job with it. And then we didn't play as well in stretches in the fourth quarter. But I think he completed 9 out of 26 passes. We didn't get as much pressure on them as we'd like, and they had maximum protection, a lot of play action. But the secondary is getting better each week. Ryan Palmer, they tried to pick on a couple of times early in the ball game, and he made really good plays knocking the ball down. Marcus Griffin continues to play tough and came up and made a really tough tackle to knock a ball loose. And Eric Jackson had his hands on a couple. So we just feel like that the guys are getting better each day. It's like the offensive line. It's definitely a work in progress. And you go back, and we took off every play that we rushed for less than 3 yards. And it was unbelievable that it was somebody different every play. I mean, it's not a guy. It's this one didn't get the call with this one, or this one was a little high, or this one didn't get movement, or Jamal slipped, or... So when you look at the problem of the 1 yard gains, we didn't have the only lost yardage we had, which is better than the first week, was the one Jamal slipped on, where he had a chance getting up inside. So we made more progress, but we still had too many no-yard gains. So we're getting huge gain or none, and we've got to go back and just continue to work with that offensive line and be more consistent.
Coach, what is this team missing that you just have to have?
Oh, I don't... experience, I guess, in certain areas. We didn't have some experience in areas, and we have gotten a lot of people hurt, so we just got to continue to work.
Coach, is there a feeling, with all the injuries, defense played great against TCU, offense had some great moments this weekend. Is there a feeling when that all comes together that Texas can be so much better? There
is. What we talked about is we've been like a roller coaster. We just need to be more consistent. We got to put everything together. There were times, again, like Arkansas State, we could have won this game 45-10, and we just didn't do it. We didn't finish the plays that we needed to finish, and it's just because of our inconsistency. So there's a lot of great things happening, and again, we're 3-0. And we feel like that at 3-0, we got a million things we can improve. And usually our teams get better as the year progresses, so that's what we're planning on doing. We've told the guys you can't use inexperience or you can't use injuries as an excuse, so keep playing. And hopefully we'll gain more experience each week. We'll get some of the guys that are hurt back soon. And we're getting a lot of experience with younger guys that will help us when the older ones come back that are hurt.
Coach Rice was a lot different when Graham took over. How different are they now with a new head coach?
Well, they're very, very similar with their defensive structure to TCU because David worked with Gary Patterson. He was the defensive coordinator. So they'll blitz you a lot. They line up in an 8-man structure. They try to make it hard for you to run. You have to hit some passes, and we're getting so much blitzing that we'll continue to see that this weekend. And we've really been impressed with Chase as a quarterback. He and Jared Dillard are really a good combination. Chase is a young guy that we looked at out of high school, and he can just make plays with his feet and his arm. And as I said, they were much better on offense Saturday than they were 3 weeks ago, and that's what will happen with the David Bailiff team.
Coach, how do you explain all the upsets? Could you do that again? Is it 85 scholarship limit? Because what Troy did to Oklahoma State, is it just parity is here?
Ed, I think so. Everybody's got better players, and I believe we'll see more upsets early in the year than late, because everybody's healthy. And the difference now in some of the schools that wouldn't get as much publicity are they're healthy early in the year. They get a transfer here or there. They get a great running back. They get a great quarterback. And all of a sudden, nobody knows who they are, and fans aren't aware of it. Media's not aware of it. They're not getting credit. And those kids come in and play really hard. And if you turn it over and they don't, they play with more energy than you do because this is a life's dream for them. Then all of a sudden it's an upset, and we're seeing more and more of that every week. I mean, who would have ever expected 0-2 Utah to beat UCLA 44-6? I mean, it's out there, it's happening, it's real, and you just got to understand it. And like I said, it's fun for media, it's fun for fans, harder for players, and really tough on coaches. But that's what we got. So
no minor schools anymore, right?
There are no minor schools, and some people, like you, Ed, think there are. So that's the real difficult thing. Ed doesn't have to play them or coach them, so he can call them minor. I can't. What else?
Coach, usually by now you have one big blowout win at least, which I know the fans really like. But as a coach, is it better for the young players when you coach them that they have a good close game or the big blowout win, or does it really matter to them?
Really and truly, I believe that you're better off with close games. Because if you just blow out the other team and everybody gets to play, everybody's happy. But as a coaching staff and as players, you're not as apt to feel an urgency to fix things. We haven't had a moment to breathe. All 3 of our games have been tight at times, and it's put a tremendous amount of pressure on the coaches and the players, and that's a good thing. We've got to make sure that our guys understand they've done a lot of good things. And we do know that our standard is we blow a lot of teams out around here, and we haven't done it. It is what it is. So you'd rather blow them out. I think it's better for you if you don't.
Coach,
Ladies first. Ladies first.
I like that. We saw more of McGee and Obaniah this weekend, I think, than we had before. Is that something y'all plan to do and switch some of those running backs?
Well, we got Jamal his 22 carries again. And Jamal his 71 carries over 3 games have been the most other than Cedric Benson in 2004. So it is working that he can carry the ball 22 times a game, and he's doing really well with it. And his 2 turnovers, like we said, are the first 2 he's had for the year. But we do feel like that there's a place for both Chris and Vondrell to play more. Vondrell didn't play much Saturday, but Chris played a lot more and carried it 7 times and did really well. He made a great run once on a 3rd down where he broke a tackle in the backfield and made a 1st down for us. And he's a tremendous blocker and a really good team leader. And it was so hot. I am telling you now. I kept telling those kids it wasn't hot, and they kept looking at me like, I don't know where you're standing. But it is really hot. I kept telling them it was hotter in Austin, and I'm not going for that. I told them yesterday I'd be honest with them now. It was really hot, so I do understand. Yes, sir.
Is the fact that you're getting blitzed so much, is that one of the things that's preventing the team from connecting on deep throws and some of the vertical passing game?
No, we hit on 8 plays, but 6 of them were runs and 2 were passes. Central Florida traditionally is a school, or George O'Leary has a defense that plays bend, not break. They're going to play really deep. We were behind them twice, and they grabbed us and pulled us down both times, and those don't count as deep balls. Limas's catch was really close. That was overruled. There was another deep ball to Mack Brown that he jumped up and had a chance, and they intercepted it, came back up underneath. But we'll keep throwing it deep. But that's, if you go back, we've coached against George O'Leary's teams 4 times now, 3 times at North Carolina and once here. One game was 27-25. One game was 16-13. The other game was 16-0. This one 35-32. He's going to run the ball. He's going to have a great punter. He's going to play tremendous field position. And then if you turn it over, he's going to make it hard for you to score, and he's going to blitz you inside the 20. And that's who he is. It hadn't changed. And his deal with us Saturday was keep the game close. We had our chance to blow it away 2 or 3 times. And when we didn't score from the 2. We didn't score from the 12, even a field goal. So we lost those 2 opportunities. And then the fumble at the end of the game, let them get back in it, or we may go get another one, and it's mute. But they do a tremendous job of running the ball, playing good defense, and keeping you in front of them, and hoping you don't make the big play. And the punter did a great job. They averaged 44 yards net punt. We averaged 32. So there were a lot of hidden yards in there. There's 3 times where we have 2 defensive late hits out of bounds, and we have 1 on offense. And they got 17 points out of those 3 series, and they overcame. They were 3 of 16 on third downs, but the 3 they scored on. So what we're doing is we're not finishing individual things when there's games that could be blowouts. We're keeping close, or the other team's keeping close because they're making plays.
Coach, you talk about a million things to fix. So how far is this team from being where you expect them to be?
Oh, the fixable, the things that we need to fix are fixable, and we just have to keep working on it to do that. And how do you ever know how far you are away? Calvary's coming, so we just got to hang in there.
Coach, I remember Chris Stockton came up big a couple times when he was here and kicking that winning field goal. How glad are you to have Ryan Bailey like that, and do you see his role being pretty big maybe the rest of the
Yes,
season?
it was a poor decision not to recruit Ryan, and a really good one to put him on scholarship. So we're excited about him. In fact, if he'd made the first short field goal, he would have broken a school record on Saturday. So he's doing really, really well. He's got a great leg. He's so poised and composed, and that's the good thing about this team. When we went down with 13 minutes in the fourth quarter, they all knew we were going to win. They went right back and win. I just wish they'd start doing some of that sooner. And our offense scored the first drive. Our offense scored the last drive before the half, and it was the kind of day that we throw it into the end zone. They call it a touchdown. They overrule it with Nate. We don't have enough time to score, so we have to kick a field goal from the 2 with 5 seconds left. Then we come out and score to start the second half, and then when we got behind in the fourth quarter, they went right down and scored, and we would have liked to have scored when we had the ball at the end, but we didn't. We fumbled, or we might have scored again. So they're doing a lot of great things. We just got to be more consistent. I think, John, that's the thing I would say about this team. They're trying really hard. They're working hard. They may be trying too hard in some ways, but they've got to be more consistent, and we've got to help them more as coaches with their consistency so we can get points when they're there and not give up big plays.
Coach, do you think the consistency is the problem with the red zone offense?
Yes, period. You run on first down, don't make any, it puts you in a real tough spot on the red zone because everything happens faster down there, and they're squeezing it in. So there's no doubt that we've got to be more consistent. We'll drop a ball, we miss a protection, we don't make any on first down. So we're continuing to look at that. The only thing offensively, there's 3 things. Turnovers, red zone offense, and we've still got to develop more depth because we've had so many kids hurt. And that's, we just got to move people around. And like Quan hadn't even played X, and he goes out there and plays the whole game after Limas comes out and plays great. What did he play? Great. Tony Hills played again, maybe his best game. So a lot of guys are playing well. We got to do it across the board. Defensively, it's all about, you go back and look at what happened defensively. There were so many great things. 10 drives of 3 and out. Scored a defensive touchdown again. We had 2 takeaways inside the 20. We had a 4th down stop, and they were 3 of 15 on 3rd down. But you go over and give up 92 yards rushing and 8 big plays. I mean, those are things you can't do. So and when we gave them up, every time we had a chance to put them away – the defense let them get back in it. The offense had a 10-point lead and didn't put them away with the ball. They had an interception. So it's playing better together as a team and being more consistent.
You haven't mentioned your linebackers. How do you feel about them, and will Sergio's return affect that?
We'd still like to play Jared and Roderick Moore. Sergio has done a great job in practice. He's had a tremendous attitude, and all the kids are excited that these 3 kids will get to play again, and we're hoping that we'll get to start rotating like we wanted to, and that's every other series with the guys. We've got Roderick and Jared are on all kicking teams, so we got to be smart with them too and not wear them out, but we would like to play them more.
Coach, how difficult is it to develop some of that consistency on offense, but at the same time know that you're trying to work in some of those younger players at the same time?
It's hard, and we just got to keep doing it. I mean, that's your objective is to win, but one of the reasons we've won here, and especially late in the year, is that we've developed depth, and we still haven't gotten enough of those guys in. So we'd like to, and it seems like every time we start to try, something has happened to put us in bad shape. But we have to do it. We've got to go ahead and put them in a game and play them and not worry about it. Kyle Hicks played quite a bit Saturday. When Charlie Tanner got hurt, Chris Hall had to move back to guard, and Kyle Hicks went in and played. Michael Huey played some. So we've got to play those guys just because we can't leave Charlie Tanner out there with a sore ankle if he's struggling some in that heat and he's trying to play. So we just got to put the young guys in, turn them loose, and let them go. Blaine Irby did a good job. He played a lot of plays. So a lot of the young guys are coming now, but we've got to get them in more.
Coach, the suspensions, are they affecting the team at all? You had another suspension last week. Is that
No.
affecting the team at all?
No. Those are individuals. That's not a team deal. Anything else?
Okay, Coach.
Thank you, folks.